pedigree on this truck is amazing.
The Rodden Custom Dream Truck was a big deal.
This car had been touched by a lot of the greats too, hadn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeehaw. Hi, I'm Dennis Gage, and welcome to My Classic Car. Well, this week we're in Imperial, Missouri to visit Kurt McCormick and check out some of his killer customs. Now, everything Kurt has is historic and historically significant. And today, we're doing the legendary Rodden Custom Dream Truck and this super sweet 32 Roadster. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Kurt, great to see you again, man.
Nice to see you, Dennis.
So right here, this is an icon in the custom world. This is the Dream Truck.
Right.
It was a Rodden Custom Dream Truck. What was the official name of this originally?
It started out in late '53. They simply called it their rolling laboratory. Believe it or not, this thing started out as a 41 Chevy coupe. Now, stay with me here.
Okay, because that's new to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a kind of a convoluted story, but they sectioned it, and it warped the body so bad that it was hopeless, and they threw it away.
Start over.
They bought a 27T coupe body, which had to be widened to fit on this 41 Chevy chassis, and it fit terrible. It was hopeless.
Steve Reich 2.
That's it. So they just went back to
They
square
gave up on
one.
the chassis, they gave up the engine,
The
they gave up
body,
everything.
all of it, yeah. And he bought a 54 Chevy cab, pickup truck cab, on a pallet, brand new.
Wow.
From the factory.
In like 53, a brand new
Yeah.
53 Ford. Okay.
He takes it to Sam Gates. Sam Gates was a master metal man of the day, so took this cab on a pallet to him, and Sam chopped it.
How much? How much did they chop?
I'm going to say 5 inches.
Okay, so I mean, there's a lot out of there. 'Cause
Yeah.
these are tall, they were tall cabs.
Yes, they were. This truck is actually 20 inches shorter than it was when it was new.
Overall, wow.
So Sam chopped it, and then they took it to Valley Custom, still on a pallet, and the guys at Valley Custom sectioned it and also built the dashboard for it. And then they tried to fit it back on that 41 Chevy chassis that we
they're
were
still
talking
flogging
about.
this 41 Chevy
Yeah.
chassis.
You can still see the channels that are cut into the bottom of the floors on this where they tried to fit it up. It was a mess too. So they put that custom cab on a stock 1950 Chevy pickup and then did all this custom work around that cab and wound up with this.
So I mean, there's some really big names involved in this. I mean, both Barrises
Yes.
had involvement here.
Right. The Barris brothers did this whole front end, including the hood scoop and the roof scoop and the rolled pan and tailgate area on the back of the truck. They took it to Gene Winfield's shop. Gene sectioned the hood and fabricated the wheel openings. There was a man named Curly Davis that actually enlarged the back window. That's bigger than a stock back window. After that, they took the truck to Bob Metz in Shelbyville, Indiana. And Bob fabricated that whole outer pickup box. The quarter panels and the fins and everything are made out of pre-war Buick roofs.
The whole thing?
Yes.
Wow. He used the curves of the Buicks.
That's correct.
Holy cow. All steel. This is all steel and lead. There's no fiberglass in this baby at all.
That's correct.
And those are Buick Ventaports down there.
Yes, 54 Buick portholes, right.
Oh man. This is one of the things that really caught my eye when I saw the truck. These, I guess, lucite tips on the bumper. That's really kind of interesting.
Yeah, those were the parking lights in the front.
Oh, so they would light up? They were wired?
Right. The lenses on the bumper bars are actually fabricated by Bob Hirahata of Hirahata Mercury fame. He did the taillights too.
So I mean, this was like one of the first project vehicles.
It's the first one anybody knows of.
And then it met with an untimely fate.
Yeah, it did. 1958, a tire blew on the tow vehicle, and both trucks went end over end over end several times and rolled sideways, and both of them were destroyed. The Dream Truck was really a mess.
God.
It pretty much totaled it.
And then it went missing.
Yes, at that point it disappeared for 20 years.
So somebody did finally unwad it and turn it back into the original.
Guy's name was Bruce Glasscock. He actually bought a body shop.
To be able to do this.
To do this.
Wow. You've had it since...
85. I bought it in 85, yeah.
And then you did this repaint though, right? Yes, no?
I didn't do the white, but I had the purple and the
Okay.
striping and all that redone.
Well, you know, the interior is really pretty cool too, and this is pretty much true to when it was built, the 53,
Yes.
4, 5 time?
Yes, it has held up perfectly for years and years.
Now the dash, what was that? Is that totally custom, or they
is-
moved it to the center? Or?
It's completely hand fabricated by Valley Custom.
Which was pretty innovative. But boy, this is where it's really happening here. Nothing looked like this in the mid-50s.
That's really
Well,
true. This
nothing that wasn't on a Flash Gordon movie.
right. It's true. This is pretty radical.
And it really was iconic. And then to go missing for so many years.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. Now, this wouldn't have been a flathead. This
No.
would have been a straight 6 originally, right?
That's correct.
Let's go look at the engine and see what's there now.
All right. There we go.
Now, you know, back in the day, there'd be a lot of lead typically in these hoods. Is this thing pretty heavy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can feel it.
You can kind of feel it.
Yeah, holy cow, it's really heavy. So,
A lot of lead.
now, it doesn't have the straight 6 anymore.
No.
What are we looking at?
This is a small block Chevy. This particular engine is a 350. Rumor has it that the first small block Chevy V8 engine transplant ever was done on this
truck?
Yes. And it used the same kind of equipment, 3 Strombergs on an Offie intake and Offie valve covers, just like this. So,
Edmunds cleaners.
yeah, that's all pretty close to the way they did it back in the 50s.
So, and I know you drive this occasionally. I've seen you drive it. Can we take it out today? It's just beautiful.
Certainly.
Can I would love to drive this. Can I drive this?
Please be my guest.
Oh, I will. Let's go.
All right.
The pedigree on this truck is amazing.
It's really true.
You've got this who's who of customizers and builders from back in the day.
Among custom guys, it was kind of a big deal.
I love the fact that this thing's always been driven places.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that.
Yeah, we've taken it on a couple of trips of 1,000 miles or more.
Wow. I just think that's amazing. Boy, she's got a really great throaty sound, too. Oh, man. So started in 53,
Right.
almost a 4-year build. Who was this built for? I mean, was Barris building this for himself, or was this a customer vehicle?
Actually, this truck belonged to Spence Murray, the editor of Rod and Custom magazine at the time.
Oh, wow.
And it was, as it turned out, it was built out of his everyday transportation, his utility vehicle.
Was there a theme behind it, or was it just, you know, another wild Barris custom?
It was kind of an avant-garde effort to stay on the cutting edge of custom building, you know, the very latest trends and fads in customizing were incorporated into this truck. Custom cars change profoundly over their lifetime.
Those changes aren't always for the better.
That's exactly right. This one didn't evolve any further because it was wrecked badly in 1958, which kind of locked it in place in history. So the wreck was a good thing in that one way.
In a kind of a curious way, yeah.
But every time they did something to it, the guys were there with the cameras and they would shoot an article on it and then print it monthly in Rod and Custom magazine.
So this is probably also one of the most documented builds.
Yes. I can show you something like 225 publications that it's been in over the years.
Different publications? 225? Holy cow.
Yeah.
I learned so much. Hey, this is great, but let's go back and check out that Roadster. That thing is another historically significant and really fun looking car.
Sure, let's go get it.
All right. Man, Kurt, that truck is a dream. Get it? It's a dream. No, it really is a fantastic riding truck. But when you opened the garage door and I saw this, it was like, I knew this thing was special. It's a magnificent piece, but it's got some early California custom hot rod history too, right?
Yes, it
What's
does.
the story?
Well, this car was originally built between 1949 and 1951.
This was early.
Well, it was certainly a state-of-the-art car for its time, you know. It was built for a gentleman.
Out in California.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And he had commissioned Valley Custom to build the car for him. Got it mostly done, and for one reason or another decided to not finish up the project, so he offered it for sale. So Doc Wetzel from Springfield, Missouri happened to be going out to California for some medical convention, and he had already decided to buy a hot rod when he got out there. So he went down the phone book, and when he got to Valley Custom, they told him about this car. And his buddy Leonard Carr and him jumped on it, and they had it all knocked together in 6 months: engine, paint, upholstery, and
everything. And I would imagine that he built it up with a flathead. Is that true?
That's correct.
Okay.
Had a beautiful flathead in it, but I'm not a flathead guy.
So what is this engine?
This is actually a 331 cubic inch Cadillac engine out of the Parisian 54 Cadillac Eldorado by Barris.
Oh, well, so it's got some history too.
Yeah.
When it was in the Caddy, had it been built up at all, or is it pretty much a stock engine?
Internally, it's stock.
The thing that just screams to me, and probably makes this thing scream, is the Scott blower.
Yeah.
I mean, those things are rare, hard to find, really expensive.
Yep.
But you came across this thing
Locally.
Yeah. NOS.
That's correct.
In a box.
Yeah.
I can't
Wooden
believe that.
crate. It was a whole kit. Put it on there, and it's been completely trouble-free, and it really brightened the thing up.
Oh man,
performance-wise.
Oh yeah, and the look too. I mean, what's your carb setup? Because this is also really kind of interesting.
These are two Cadillac, early 50s Cadillac 2-barrels by Carter, and these air cleaners are made by a company called High Power.
They just look great, and nothing looks quite like them either. And then this Duval windshield. I mean,
How
that
about
thing. Well, it makes it look like it's going fast just sitting here. These weren't really made for 32s though, were they?
No, all the original Duvals were made for 35, 36 Ford open cars.
Okay.
And any time you see an original on something other than those, it's been modified to fit, like this one has.
And again, there's no fiberglass in this. This thing's all lead and steel.
That's correct.
Boy, oh boy. And then this interior is incredible. Are these like the original seat frames and everything?
They are, but so, believe it or not, is the upholstery itself. Is all original from 1951. It feels like the seat in a school bus.
It looks like the seat in a school bus. Even the green. I mean, yeah. Here's what cracks me up though. This thing's got an armrest in it. You don't usually see that in a hot rod.
1951 hot rod armrest. It's pretty unusual.
And that was there. I mean, this is the way she was.
Part of the package, yeah.
And speaking of package, that is one of those Stuart Warner all-in-one gauge cluster packages. Is that right?
Yeah, you bought it completely intact like that. It was called a Stuart Warner Hollywood. All those gauges are original to the car.
Man, oh man. And it just sits down there.
Yeah, it's channeled quite a bit.
I guess.
And the frame is stepped in the back.
And I just really noticed that your exhaust tips are like molded into the pan down there?
There's actually tunnels through that rolled pan for the exhaust to pass through. These rear Nerf bars are mounted in an unusual manner. They're actually secured to the back axle of the car.
Oh, I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, so the back bumper moves independent of the body. I'm sure it's an...
That's got to look a little strange.
Yeah, I'm sure it looks a little odd going down the road with that bumper jumping around when the body's doing something else.
Well, what do you say we take it down the road and see if that actually happens?
Okay,
Can I drive this one too?
Please, be my guest.
Again, let's go.
Here we go.
This baby is the real deal. It's just such a classic look. The stance and everything on it just, I swear, if you looked up hot rod in the dictionary, there'd be a little picture of this car in there.
I like to think so. It's a good example of an early rod. It's a civilized car. It's well-mannered.
It is well-mannered, but she does make a lot of racket, and it's that Scotch supercharger.
That's right. That supercharger's got straight cut gears, and they sing like a bird.
It's a unique sound. You know, it's not the whine that I usually associate.
Well, if you don't know cars, you think there's something wrong with it.
Yeah, what's wrong with your car?
Right, but to the informed, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a supercharger. That's good. Yeah, we like that. It's got a lot of that early equipment on it that people associate with a kind of a high-end, old-time hot rod.
I just love the look of this engine, though. My goodness.
Pretty outrageous.
It's fine when you're looking left, Looking right's a little tough with that,
Yeah.
with that intake.
All this hardware up here fills the engine compartment out nicely.
It does.
And really appeals aesthetically to me.
Well, I will say that this is really, you know, because hot rods can be a little bit all over the place. This is a great driving car.
Thank you very much. I'm pleased with it too.
I love the feel of this car. I mean, it feels great.
You seem pretty comfortable with it.
It fits me perfectly.
Yeah.
Like it was made for me. So until our next meeting, remember, honor the timeless classics. I'm Dennis Gage. Happy motoring.